Kinley, coming back to you with another one. Glad to be back to making these simulator videos. I'm doing everything I can, you guys. I'm just really experiencing some technical difficulties, but nevertheless, I'm still shooting for it. For today, here's what I want to do. Usually I just do a simulator video and just kind of complete the level, but today I really want to focus on the essential nature of backing. The fundamental nature of backing is really what I want to focus on. I feel like if you can grab the essence of a thing, you can grab the thing in and of itself. And that's what I want to do today. All right, so check this out. Let's first talk about jackknifing. The word jackknife is usually understood as to refer to a time when a tractor trailer loses control and the tractor, instead of pulling the trailer, is now being pushed by the trailer while it bends to the left or to the right and makes contact with the side of a trailer. That's usually the type of accident, the type of emergency situation being referred to when someone refers to when someone uses the term jackknife. But jackknifing does not necessarily have to be understood as an emergency situation in which a driver has lost control of a tractor trailer combination vehicle. Instead, you can understand a jackknife only as the bending of a combination vehicle. Imagine an actual jackknife. A jackknife is basically nothing more than a pocket knife that opens and closes. So when you're closing the actual pocket knife, you think of that as the jackknife effect, right? Let me demonstrate. Here, I'll demonstrate. Now we're at 220. So I'll demonstrate here, okay? So I'm just basically going to set the vehicle up with a slight jackknife in the vehicle. So just like this. I really don't have to do too much to do it, but just like this. There's a jackknife in this vehicle, and we can tell because we see the angle of the tractor and the trailer, right? Well, when you're actually backing up, this jackknife causes the trailer to turn, right? So we're moving from just the essence of, the definition of jackknifing to how does this actually play a role in what we're doing? You see, so I have my steering wheel relatively straight. It's not exactly straight, but it's relatively straight. And I'm just going to back the vehicle up, and you can see the trailer begin to go to the left, right? So a couple things about jackknifing, almost like a couple properties of the jackknife effect, a couple like its nature, right? How it acts, okay? So a jackknife acts like this. The more you have the jackknife open, right? Just like an open knife, the more the jackknife is open, the slower that the trailer turns in a circle. The slower the trailer turns. We won't even say in a circle. Okay, so I'm just following this trailer around right now with the tractor so the jackknife doesn't continue to close on me. And as you notice, the more the jackknife is open, the slower that trailer's turning. Rather, when I close the jackknife, the trailer turns more quickly. See how it's turning more quickly now? It's really kind of whipping around there. Okay, I'm going to pick up the speed just a little bit here so you can really see. But you see how quick it's turning right now while the jackknife is much more closed. I'm at a maybe, 80-some degree angle or so, 88, pretty close to 90. But when I open the jackknife, and you just open it by chasing the trailer around, now you notice that trailer is turning much more slowly, right? It's going to take a lot longer for me to complete a full circle or go around, whereas every time I close the jackknife, it doesn't take nearly as long for me to get all the way around. Okay? That is probably the most important characteristic of a jackknife that is going to really play a part practically in your backing. Okay, the more the jackknife is open, the slower the trailer turns. The more the jackknife is closed, the quicker the trailer turns. What I'm intentionally doing here is I'm just changing verbiage here. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I usually say create an angle and ride it back. Well, when I say create an angle and ride it back, it's really create a jackknife and ride it back. It's create a jackknife and ride it back, right? Just like we've been doing just now. It's just create a jackknife and then ride that jackknife back. Let me just change a setting real fast. All right. It's just create a jackknife and ride that jackknife back. So just like if I was trying to park there in that yellow box, right, just from exactly where I am right now, and I'm trying to back in the way the arrows are faced, because I have to do so much turning, I want to create a very closed jackknife, a very closed angle, more like a 90-degree angle, right, so I can turn pretty quickly. Okay, so I'm going to do just that, and I got to do that without hitting the wall, of course. Okay, and you see me I'm just trying to navigate around the wall while still controlling the jackknife. That's all I'm doing. Just like that. Now I have this distance to cover, right? So I have to close that open the jackknife all the way so it can drive in a straight line. Just like that. Now I actually have to jackknife the other way if I really wanted to park in the yellow box, because I don't want to be too close to the end of the box before I've straightened my vehicle out. And then I just jackknife the other way. Jackknife toward the left, trailer to the left, wheel to the right. And then back it in. You see how I did that? It's just creating a jackknife and literally riding that jackknife backwards. That's it. Now, that's not a perfect park job, but it gets the job done, right? Okay, so now let's go to, level select, let's go to title menu, let's go to hard campaign, and let's go to the 50s area. Let's try 58. Nope, wrong one, I think. Yep, wrong one. Give me just a second. Level select, let's try 60. Nope. Level select, let's go to title menu, normal, and let's do 58. So now, how does this relate to the real world? Okay, when you set up for a backing maneuver, people say put your drives on, and you've heard it from me too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, when I tell you set up, I tell you to approach the spot, look down the spot, make sure everything's clean and no obstructions, yada, yada, yada. After you do that, put your drives on the spot, your drive tires on the spot. Then you're going to turn hard right as soon as your drives hit that spot. Once your drives have hit that spot, you're going to try to kind of point the tractor to 12 o'clock. I'm not going to point it all the way to 12 o'clock because I'm losing room right here. And then you're going to drive to the left again, right? When you drive to the left, you want to point your tractor at the 9 o'clock position. You see how I kind of overdid it just a little bit. But that's okay. I'm just going to kind of drive straight a little bit just like this. Create a little bit of room behind here for the jackknife effect. All you see I've done here is I've created a jackknife in my vehicle, pointing my trailer toward my spot. And now all I'm going to do is back up. I'm going to put a little right on it so that jackknife turns a little bit faster before I hit my neighbor there. And then I'm going to follow that jackknife around. That's it. That's all backing is. That wasn't the most perfect backing job I've ever done in my life, but that's okay. It'll make it in a spot, though. That's a love spot. You see how wide that is? That's all backing is. It's just creating a jackknife and then pushing that jackknife backwards and controlling the degree in which my vehicle is jackknifed at all times until I have an open jackknife, wide open, tractor and trailer is in a straight line, and I'm in the spot, right? Just like this one here. I didn't leave much room behind me at all, so it wasn't a great setup, but it was good enough. Same thing. You see, I just controlled that jackknife, open, close, according to what I need my trailer to do. Here's a couple tips on jackknifing, and then we're going to shut this down, okay? First tip is this. Comes from something my dad used to tell me all the time. You do it right the first time, you won't have to do it again, and I will add to that. So my dad would say, if you do it right the first time, you won't have to do it again, and I'll add to that by saying, if you don't do it right the first time, just do it again. What I mean by that is, when you're setting up your jackknife If it ain't right, just redo it and try to make it right. You know, don't just not pay attention. Sometimes I don't like to, that's why I'm doing this particular video. Sometimes I don't like to tell people to turn to 12 o'clock and then turn to 9 o'clock, or hold it 3 seconds, then turn to the left, hold that 3 seconds, and yada, 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 3 seconds. Because what you end up doing is you're teaching them a system that does not work in every situation in life. You're teaching them a system that does not work in every situation in life. That's why I don't like teaching like that. Instead, understand that number one, what I mean by if you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again, is you got to point your jackknife where you want the vehicle to go. You got to do some thinking, y'all. You can't just, this is not a brainless activity where you just kind of, okay, hold it 3 seconds to the right, and drive straight, and then hold it to the left 3 seconds. It's not a brainless activity. There's no system for this. Backing is not like that. Backing is something you got to pay attention to and take care of. You have to be wary, be aware of what's going on at all times. As you see, my vehicle is generally pointed in the direction of my spot where I want it to go. You should almost be able to see the curve in which your vehicle will take as you back into the spot, right? I don't really need much right on this. I'm gonna put just a little bit of right on this, but you can see that it doesn't take much for this vehicle to just turn in this spot. I don't have to create this really tight jackknife. I do need a little bit more right here. Make sure I don't hit my neighbor, But you see, I didn't have to do that much in order to, I didn't have to jackknife it that much. If anything, look how I kind of overdid it. You see that? I didn't have to do that much in order to jackknife. I didn't have to create that tight, that closed of a jackknife in order to make that spot, The best setups are ones in which just now I probably could have done that. The best setups are ones in which you really don't have to force the jackknife much at all. Your setup created enough of a jackknife to put the trailer in the spot. Okay? So I'm going to show you here. I'm going to try to create one on purpose that's kind of good enough that I really don't have to put much on it. All right, I'll try this one. All right, I still feel like I need to put a little bit on it, but sometimes that's just Travis. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit of right on this, and then we're just gonna ride it back. You see? You see I still got close to my neighbor there? Nevertheless, look at that. Not that tight of a jackknife needed to be created for me to hit that spot there, okay? I can do better than that. I'm trying to show you. The best setups, you can really just keep the steering wheel to the right. I mean, straight. You can really just keep the steering wheel straight. This is not a great one. But you can really just keep that steering wheel straight and just kind of ride that vehicle backwards, okay? So first tip is this. Just point the trailer where you want it to go, okay? Point the trailer where you want it to go. And if you didn't do it right the first time, just do it again, okay? Do it right. If you do it right the first time, you want to do it again. If you didn't do it right the first time, just do it again. It's no big deal, okay? But point the trailer where you want it to go. That's first tip, okay? Let me give you an example real fast. Here's an example of me not pointing the trailer where I want it to go. You see that? I could hit that spot, don't get me wrong, but that trailer's not really pointed perfectly for that spot, right? This is me just with a straight steering wheel. You see how that's pointed so much further? You see that? Okay? I could have hit the spot, don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is the better you point the rear of your trailer toward your spot, the easier your backing situation is. Here's one where I started turning too early, right? So I'll be pointing toward the red truck. See that? And I could drive straight a little bit more, and maybe I could force something to happen for me. But you see, I really need to set up all over again. You see that? Point the trailer where you want it to go. And if you don't do it right the first time, just do it again, man. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's really not. But you'll save yourself a lot of heartache if you do that. See? Now, that wasn't perfect, but I can hit that spot, right? That curve is not terrible. I can back into that spot there. Okay? Some of this comes with experience. I get that. You see? Some of this comes with experience. I get that. But others of it comes with just paying attention. I was rushing a little bit, I know. But other of it just comes with paying attention, okay? So point the trailer in the direction you want it to go. You know, if you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again. If you don't do it right the first time, just do it again. And here's one more for you, okay? If you make a mistake, don't try to force it, okay? I'm going to put a relatively decent setup here. If you make a mistake, don't try to force it. I see so many people, they'll make a steering mistake, and then they'll try to force it. Man, I feel like I could almost just push this all the way back, maybe a little bit of right for a couple seconds. But I see so many trainees, students, they try to force it, man. And I'm like, look, I got buddy Matt here. His channel is called No Luck Trucking. I love that, man. When he was first talking to me about his channel title, he told me, I think a family member or someone told him, there's no lucking in trucking. There's no luck in trucking. And he has no idea, man, but I've repeated that so many times to people. There's no luck in this, man. There's no luck in trucking. You're not going to get lucky, dude. If you make a mistake, pull up, okay? Here's a prime example. All right, I'm just going to back this vehicle in. Look at that. What a great setup, man. We're going to back this vehicle in. We're going to start chasing it, right? We're chasing it. And for some reason, I get it in my mind, I need to put some right on it. And then I realize, oh, no. And don't keep backing up, dude. Look, I've seen students do this number right here. And they just keep, sometimes I just let them keep backing up. Like, I'm curious, at what point in their mind will they say, I need to stop. This is just getting worse. Okay? At some point in your mind, dude, you got to look at it and say, this is just getting worse. Don't just keep backing up. All right. So and I'm just trying to set it up the same way, you know, similar without pressing restart. If I'm backing, right, and you see I just made a steering mistake, I'm not going to keep going and hit the red truck. I'm going to pull up. I'm going to pull up a little bit further than my mistake. Wherever I made my mistake, I'm going to pull up a little bit further than wherever I made my mistake. And then I'm going to keep going. And then I'm going to stop. Yeah, I'm going to keep going, right? And we'll make another mistake on purpose. We'll do this here. And we're following. And then I tell the student to chase it and they go right. Just stop right there. Pull up to the exact spot you made the mistake and then drive forward a little bit more than your mistake. And then continue backing. You see that? Okay. That's the essence of backing, y'all. It's just a jackknife. But to the last point, one more time. Once you've messed up your jackknife, dude, you're not gonna be able to fix it. It's math, okay? These are angles. This is geometry. You have to. For every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction. If you make an action and you don't like that action, you have to put the opposite action in there. You can't just keep pushing it in. All right, that is the essence of backing. I know this video is long. TBH, to be honest, really didn't even really want to do this video very much. But I just know there's got to be somebody that's trying to understand backing as much as they can. And I just really wanted to make a video about the essence of backing, the fundamental of backing, the fundamental idea of what you're doing when you're backing a tractor trailer. Because if you can grasp this, you can be put in so many different situations and dock it like nothing. If you can grasp the jackknife effect. Okay, so it's the jackknife effect. It's just like a pocket knife, open, closed. The more closed you have your vehicle, just like a pocket knife, the more closed you have your vehicle, the quicker the trailer is going to turn. The more open you have the vehicle, the slower the trailer is going to turn. Just point the vehicle where you want it to go. If you didn't do it right, just do it again. And if you make a mistake, pull up. Don't think it's just going to fix itself. All right. I love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. Find you somebody to love. Don't forget, it's not about what you believe. It is why you believe it. Now live free.